This is a follow-up to my previous video on Kaspa mining, where I show you how to set up lolMiner with super efficient settings to make GPU mining profitable again. So if you haven't watched that, go watch that first. I'll leave a link up in the corner there as well as in the description of this video. But in this video, I'm going to show you 3 ways you can improve your Kaspa mining profitability even further on your GPU rigs. This includes a new miner version released just today, how to tweak your overclocks even further to squeeze even more mining efficiency out of your GPUs, and a mining strategy that you should be aware of that a lot of experienced miners use. But first, a quick word from our sponsor. Operating for over 5 years, Bitcap is one of the premier ASIC and GPU hosting services in North America, servicing customers worldwide. Powered by 100% renewable energy, they've got the best pricing for hosting your hardware. With live customer support 16 hours a day and a performance uptime agreement, you can feel confident and secure that your miners are working their best. One of the first to offer small and large-scale immersion-cooled hosting options, Bitcap allows clients to push their compatible ASIC hardware to the peak of performance. Visit bitcap.co to learn more and get energized today. So, at the moment you're watching this, lolMiner has just released their latest version 1.64, which has even further improved the Kaspa mining performance. And they very generously gave me early access to this version so that I could make and post this video for you guys right as the download went live today. And the main update in this version is that you'll get even better mining efficiency on Kaspa, meaning that you'll get even more hash rate per watt of electricity used, which is crucial for mining profitability right now. And of course, I've tested it on a bunch of different GPUs, and we'll have a look at those results in just a second. But first, real quickly, if you do want to download this version for yourself, which I recommend that you do, you can just follow the instructions in my previous video. So if you're in Windows, just go to their GitHub and download the latest version off of there. Or if you're in 𝐻𝐻𝑜S, you can probably just wait a couple days and it should be in the latest 𝐻𝐻𝑜S update. Or if you don't want to wait, you can always run the command line that I'll post in the pinned comment below this video. I show you how to do that in the previous video as well. But so with that out of the way, let's look at the hash rates in this new version compared to the previous version. Alright, so we are on the computer, and of course I'm Seb. I have a spreadsheet, and here are all the results that I was able to achieve on all the GPUs that I've tested with this new version. Now bear in mind, this is using the exact same overclock settings and everything as I did in my previous video for my previous tests. Really the only thing that I've changed is the miner version, the lolMiner version from 1.63 to 1.64. So as you can see here, we got, for example, the regular 1660 in 1.63. It did 235 megahash at 35 watts for an efficiency of 6.71 megahash per watt. And then just updating to 1.64, I was getting 248 megahash for 1 watt more of 36 watts. However, that still gave me better efficiency at 6.89 megahash per watt. So you can also see the improvement here was 0.17 megahash per watt, which is definitely a significant improvement. And as we go down the list here, we can see across the board, I saw improvements. The biggest winners was actually, I think, the 1660 series, specifically the 1660 Ti saw a great improvement. The 3060 saw a great improvement as well, as did the 3070. And if we have a look at my overall 3070 rig here, which this is measuring the whole power consumption at the wall, since it's using an Octominer, I get the actual at the wall wattage reported to me within 𝐻𝐻𝑜S. We can see that the actual hash rate improvement there was over 350 extra megahash for only an extra, 43 watts, which gave me a pretty significant improvement in both hash rate and efficiency. Alright, so next up I want to dive even deeper into overclocking your GPUs. In the last video I gave you some general advice on how you can get great efficiency mining Kaspa with lolMiner. But since then I've found that you can tweak those settings even further to get even better results, and I'll show you how. And then we'll also have a look at just how much more efficiency I was able to get out of a set of GPUs I have by using this method. Alright, so let's tweak our GPUs further, and I showed you more in detail sort of like how to apply these settings in my previous video, and I show you how to do it in 𝐻𝐻𝑜S, but then the whole general concept also applies to Windows, and I had some instructions in the description of how to take those fundamentals and do them within Windows, so go check that out after this video. But let's talk a little bit about how to achieve even better results from your overclocking. And it's not really that complicated, it's just gonna take a little bit of work. And it all kind of just comes down to trial and error. And basically what you want to do is you want to change two different values, right? So the first one is the one you set up in HiveOS within your flight sheet within the actual miner config. That would be the same in Windows. And it's this number here, the core clock. So in the last video, I told you to set that at 470 and be happy there. And then just tweak the core offset either in the HiveOS overclock settings in HiveOS or within Windows. I had the instructions how to do it in the description. But what I have found is if you sort of mess around with these two numbers, you can actually find even better results. And it's just about trial and error pretty much. And one thing to keep in mind is you have to reboot your rig between each change of settings. So just keep that in mind as we go forward. But what I would do is I would come into the miner config here in Windows. This would be in your batch file. And I would lower this number by 15, apply the changes, update my flight sheet. And then I would sort of go into the settings here. And I would start them a little bit higher than I said, about 100 higher and so. And then I would just keep lowering these in steps of 15 as well until my rig was stable, and then see, okay, where along the line there was my best results in terms of efficiency. And then I would come back into my miner settings here. I would lower this by another 15 and then do the whole process again of trying all the core offset settings within the HiveOS overclocking. So to summarize, it's a lot of trial and error, but in short, it's lower the absolute core clock within your miner config by 15, then try all the different core offset values, starting pretty high and then lowering until your rig is stable. Note down what the best value you got in terms of efficiency was, then lower the absolute core clock within your miner config by another 15, and then do the whole process again of testing different core offsets and note down your best value in terms of efficiency, and just keep repeating this until you find the best possible efficiency for your GPUs basically. Alright, so next up, let's have a look at the results I was actually able to achieve by tweaking my GPUs in this way. But first, by the way, if you're still watching this far in, then I got something for you as a thank you. If you go to our merch store at gpuheads.com and enter the code THANKS, you'll get 15% off your order. We currently have the design of the Grim Reaper coming for Ethereum, and that's only gonna be available until December. Or of course we have the classic GPU heads design that I'm wearing right now. And if you get something there, just know, as I always say, that is a great way for you to support the channel and get something awesome in return. All right, now back to the video. And let me show you the best results that I was able to get by doing this. So I, of course, have a spreadsheet here. And this is using the previous version of lolMiner. So this is on 1.63 before the even further improvement. So as you can see here, this is on my 3070s, and I started with a core clock of 1470 and a core offset of 325, but I actually found that I got significantly better efficiency by lowering both the core and the core offset, and I ended up with a absolute core clock of 1300 and a core offset of 250. Those were sort of the sweet spot numbers for me, where I got 7.69 megahash per watt instead of 7.35. So a significant improvement there. Yes, I do lose a little bit of hash rate, but I also reduce my wattage a lot, which means less power cost and, you know, more profit per watt of electricity used. And finally, I also want to show you the results of putting both these things together. So both new overclocks for better efficiency as well as updating to the latest lolMiner version. So I have that in my spreadsheet here as well, right at the bottom. And these are, again, real world numbers from my 12 by 3070 rig. And as you can see here, I went from 5,823 megahash at 939 watts for an efficiency of 6.2 megahash per watt to 5,493 megahash at just 855 watts. Again, this is for the whole rig measured at the wall. which gave me an efficiency of 6.42 megahash per watt, or an improvement of a whopping 0.22 megahash per watt, which is definitely significant. So this is definitely worth it in my opinion, but please try it out for yourselves and let me know what your results are. Alright, so finally let's discuss the mining strategy that a lot of experienced miners use to maximize profits long term. But first, a quick word from our sponsor.
Established in 2017, Octominer is an international mining hardware company. They manufacture and engineer the best mining equipment in the industry and supply rigs to some of the largest mining farms around the world. Their GPU mining rigs also integrate with the top crypto operating systems like 𝐻IVE-OS, MinerStat, and Simple Mining. All parts come with an international 1-year warranty. Exciting news! They will be adding ASIC miners for sale to their website soon and launching a new product built specifically for ASIC home miners. Please visit octominer.com or email support@octominer.com for questions.
Alright, so let's talk mining strategy for maximizing your profits long term. And the reason I bring this up is because I got a fair few comments on my last video saying how this whole thing isn't really worth it when you're making less than $1 per rig after deducting power cost. And now this strategy that I'm about to talk about is something I've talked about pretty often on my channel before, but since my latest video on Kaspa mining brought in a lot of new viewers, I think it's probably best I go over it again. Basically, there's one core concept about mining profitability that you need to wrap your head around, and that is that mining profitability is not set on the day you mine your coins, but rather it is set on the day you sell those mined coins. And why this is relevant is because we are, in my opinion, not financial advice, deep in a crypto bear market right now. Meaning that crypto prices are very low at the moment and are very likely to go back up again significantly within the next 1 to 3 years. For example, Bitcoin is only about a quarter of the price it was at its all-time high, which was a little over a year ago. And Bitcoin historically has a massive price spike pretty much exactly every 4 years. And each time one of those spikes happens, the price goes up even further than it did the previous spike. So let's use the example from my previous video where my rig with 12 3070s mined $2.89 per day with a power cost of $2.25 for a profit after power of 64 cents per day. Now, let's say you get your mined coins paid out in Bitcoin, like I also showed you how to do in my previous video. That means you're getting $2.89 worth of Bitcoin every day. And then you hold all that coin and hypothetically, Bitcoin goes back up to 4 times the price it is right now again within, let's say, the next 3 years. That $2.89 is now worth $11.56, but your power cost was still only $2.25, which means that if you sell your mined coins at this new higher price, your actual profit per day was $9.31, not 64 cents like all the mining, profit calculator websites said. Now, if you want to learn more about this mining strategy and how to use it to your advantage, you can click this video right here. And if you're right now saying, well, why don't you just buy the coins if you think they're gonna go up in price? I have a video on why mining is better than buying a coin, which you can click on right there. But yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Goodbye, bye.